In a quiet corner of Millbrook, just outside the city rush of Hartford, Connecticut, a startling crime breaks the peace. Early one September morning in 2018, the community is rocked by the discovery of 17-year-old Sarah Thompson's body found hidden in the woods. This grim find behind her family home sends shockwaves through the neighborhood, turning what was once a safe haven into a scene of fear and suspicion. As whispers of a murderer among them stir unrest, residents are forced to reconsider their sense of security, with many now locking doors that were once left open. Called to tackle this complex case is Detective Michael Carter, a seasoned investigator known for his acute investigative skills and dogged persistence. In this unfolding story, we'll follow Detective Carter as he digs into the myriad layers of this case, unearthing family secrets and community tensions that challenge the facade of this suburban idyll. Each step deeper into the investigation reveals more than just the details of a tragic murder. It uncovers the hidden complexities of human relationships and motives. As Detective Michael Carter takes the lead on this case, he quickly learns that the investigation will not be straightforward. Initial suspicions naturally drift towards Sarah's immediate family, particularly her stepmother, Amanda Wilson, who had a notably strained relationship with Sarah. The local community, usually tight-knit, begins to show its fractures as everyone seems to have a theory about who might be the killer. As Carter delves into the details, he scrutinizes the complex dynamics within the Thompson-Wilson household. Sarah's friends and schoolmates portray her as a vibrant teen who is increasingly troubled by her home life. Her aspirations and artistic talents had set her apart, yet at home she felt overshadowed and often sidelined since her mother remarried. With each interview and clue, Carter peels back layers of jealousy and unresolved tensions. His methodical approach and attention to detail highlight his determination not to overlook any potential lead. This meticulousness brings him closer to understanding the deeper issues at play, setting the stage for a thorough examination of the motives and secrets lurking beneath the surface. In navigating these murky waters, Carter's experience is invaluable, helping to steer the investigation through community rumors and the maze of personal relationships. His next steps involve a closer look at the evidence collected from the scene and the digital footprints Sarah left behind, hoping these will lead to the breakthrough the case desperately needs. Detective Carter's investigation intensifies as he shifts focus to examining the physical evidence and Sarah's social media activity. The clues from the crime scene, Sarah's missing camera, signs of a struggle, and the absence of her personal belongings suggest a targeted attack rather than a random act. This revelation steers the investigation towards those who knew her well, hinting at a personal motive. While combing through Sarah's digital life, Carter finds intriguing patterns in her interactions and movements before her disappearance. Her posts and messages reveal a teenager caught between her creative passions and the escalating tensions at home. This digital trail, combined with the forensic evidence, points to complexities in her relationships that may have led to her tragic end. Carter's approach is systematic and thorough, understanding that each piece of evidence could be the key to unraveling the case. He collaborates closely with forensic experts to trace back the sequence of events that led to Sarah's murder, focusing on the hours just before she went missing. This part of the investigation not only clarifies the timeline, but also begins to narrow down the list of suspects, making each step critical in building towards a resolution. As the case unfolds, the community's initial panic shifts to a somber reflection on the vulnerabilities within their seemingly perfect suburb. Carter remains resolute, aware that the resolution of this case hinges on his ability to connect the scattered pieces into a coherent narrative that reveals the true motive and identity of the killer. With the evidence at hand and insights into Sarah's last known interactions, Detective Carter broadens the scope of his investigation, bringing in more witnesses and re-examining previous statements. He finds discrepancies in the alibis provided by key figures close to Sarah, particularly her stepfather, Robert Wilson, whose account of his whereabouts begins to crumble under scrutiny. As Carter digs deeper, he uncovers a clandestine relationship between Robert and a neighbor, revealing a possible motive linked to jealousy and betrayal. The community's trust in Robert, once a respected figure, starts to erode as his double life comes to light. These revelations about Robert not only propel the investigation forward, but also cast a new light on the dynamics within the Wilson household. Meanwhile, Carter's meticulous nature ensures no stone is left unturned. He orders a second, more detailed forensic analysis of the items found at the crime scene, which uncovers new evidence that points directly to someone within Sarah's inner circle. This phase of the investigation is critical, as it not only identifies the key suspect, but also begins to piece together the final moments of Sarah's life, revealing a narrative filled with manipulation and deceit. As the puzzle pieces fit together, the focus of the investigation sharpens, shifting public perception and adding pressure to bring the true culprit to justice. Carter's relentless pursuit of the truth showcases his dedication to not only solving the case, but also bringing closure to a shaken community. The breakthrough in the case comes when Detective Carter secures a key piece of video evidence that contradicts Robert Wilson's alibi for the night of the murder. This video footage, captured by a nearby security camera, shows Robert's car in a location far from where he claimed to be working late. This discrepancy provides Carter with the leverage needed to apply pressure during interrogations. Armed with this new evidence, Carter confronts Robert, who initially sticks to his fabricated story. However, faced with undeniable proof of his lies, Robert's composure begins to falter. This turning point in the investigation shifts the entire focus onto him, unraveling his meticulously crafted facade of a devoted stepfather and community leader. Simultaneously, Carter re-interviews Alina Gonzalez, the woman at the center of Robert's secret affair. Under renewed scrutiny, Alina admits to meeting Robert on the night of Sarah's disappearance, further dismantling his alibi. Her testimony not only implicates Robert in deceitful behavior, but also highlights their deep emotional connection, suggesting a motive rooted in desperation to keep their affair hidden. This crucial phase of the investigation underscores the importance of verifying alibis and the impact of personal relationships on criminal behavior. Carter's ability to connect these dots not only advances the case, but also underscores the depth of betrayal within the community, turning a once trusted figure into the prime suspect. As the pieces of the puzzle fall into place, Detective Carter moves to the next phase of the investigation, piecing together the motive and opportunity for Robert to commit the murder. The confession from Alina about their affair sheds new light on the events leading up to Sarah's murder. Carter's investigation reveals that on the night of the murder, Robert and Alina had a heated argument about ending their relationship, which provides a motive for Robert wanting to silence any threat to his secret. With motive established, Carter examines the opportunity aspect. He gathers forensic evidence tying Robert to the crime scene, including fibers from his clothing found on Sarah's body and traces of soil from the woods behind their house on his shoes. The technical evidence, combined with the timeline reconstructed from witness statements and digital records, pinpoints Robert at the crime scene at the time of Sarah's death. Carter also discovers that a hunting knife missing from Robert's collection matches the description of the murder weapon. This discovery is crucial as it directly links Robert to the violent act, combining motive with the means to commit the crime. This stage of the investigation highlights Carter's diligence and the critical role of forensic science in modern policing. His methodical approach ensures that each piece of evidence is meticulously analyzed and integrated into the broader narrative of the case, building a compelling argument for Robert's involvement in Sarah's tragic death. With solid evidence now pointing to Robert Wilson as the perpetrator, Detective Carter prepares for the final step, securing a confession and making an arrest. He arranges an interview with Robert, carefully planning his approach to extract a confession. During the intense interrogation, Carter presents all the evidence amassed against Robert, from the discrepancies in his alibi to the forensic data linking him directly to the murder scene. Under the weight of the evidence, Robert's resolve crumbles. He finally admits to confronting Sarah in the woods on the night of her murder. Overwhelmed by the fear of his affair being exposed and its consequences, he describes how an argument escalated into violence. Robert's confession is a critical moment, providing direct insight into his motives and the events that led to Sarah's death. Following the confession, Carter moves swiftly to arrest Robert. The arrest is a culmination of rigorous investigative work, reflecting Carter's commitment to justice. As Robert is taken into custody, the community's shaken trust begins to mend, knowing that the murderer will face the consequences of his actions. This closing chapter of the investigation not only underscores the effectiveness of thorough police work, but also serves as a poignant reminder of the devastating impact of crime on families and communities. Detective Carter's resolve in pursuing the truth brings closure to the case, ensuring that justice is served for Sarah Thompson. After Robert Wilson's arrest, the case moves swiftly towards trial. The community watches as the proceedings unfold, eager for justice in the wake of tragedy. Prosecutor lays out a detailed case against Robert, backed by the compelling evidence gathered by Detective Carter, including the confession, forensic data, and witness testimonies. During the trial, the courtroom hears about the deep betrayal felt by Sarah and the calculated steps Robert took to cover up his crime. The emotional testimonies and the presentation of evidence paint a clear picture of Robert's guilt. As the trial progresses, the prosecution methodically dismantles any defense put forth by Robert's attorneys, emphasizing his premeditated actions and the severity of his betrayal. The jury deliberates for only a short period before returning a guilty verdict. The judge then sentences Robert to life in prison without the possibility of parole, citing the heinous nature of his crime and the irrevocable harm he caused to his family and the community. This resolution marks the end of a painful chapter for Millbrook as residents begin to heal from the shock and loss inflicted by one of their own. The trial and its outcome reaffirm the community's faith in the legal system to uphold justice and accountability. Detective Carter's role is lauded for his dedication to uncovering the truth, ensuring that Sarah Thompson's voice was heard and justice was achieved. As the dust settles on the trial and conviction of Robert Wilson, the community of Millbrook begins to reflect on the broader implications of the case. The tragic events have left a lasting impact on everyone involved, prompting a reevaluation of personal and communal safety measures, as well as deeper consideration of the relationships that bind neighbors together. In the aftermath, local schools and community centers initiate discussions and workshops focused on safety and the importance of looking out for one another. These programs aim to restore the shaken trust within the community and to empower residents with knowledge and strategies to prevent such tragedies in the future. Detective Carter, while satisfied with the outcome of the trial, takes this opportunity to speak at community meetings. He emphasizes the critical role of vigilance and communication in maintaining safety. He also highlights the importance of supporting those affected by crime, particularly the families who endure the greatest losses. The case of Sarah Thompson thus transcends its initial context to become a catalyst for change within Millbrook. It fosters a renewed commitment to community solidarity and safety, ensuring that while the scars of the past remain, the future holds promise for healing and unity. This story of tragedy, justice, and the enduring human spirit continues to resonate, serving as a reminder of both the vulnerabilities and the resilience of suburban communities. With the trial concluded and community initiatives underway, Millbrook begins a slow process of healing. The story of Sarah Thompson and the resolution of her case have been extensively covered by local media, bringing to light not just the details of the crime, but also sparking conversations about broader societal issues, such as the impacts of domestic turmoil and the hidden dangers within close-knit communities. Local journalists and bloggers, inspired by Sarah's aspiration to become an investigative reporter, dedicate articles and posts to discussing how her case has changed law enforcement and community interaction. They explore themes of trust, the role of social media in solving crimes, and the importance of mental health support for the bereaved. Educational institutions incorporate this case into their curriculums, discussing legal studies, ethics, and psychology. Teachers use it as a case study to educate students about the legal system and the psychological profiles that can lead to such tragic outcomes, emphasizing the importance of empathy and understanding in preventing future tragedies. As Millbrook looks forward, there's a collective effort to turn the sorrow of the past into proactive measures that strengthen the fabric of the community. Annual memorials are established in Sarah's name. Scholarships are created to support young women pursuing journalism, and the woods where she was found have been transformed into a garden of remembrance. Through these actions, the community vows to remember Sarah not just for the circumstances of her death, but for the spirit and potential that her life represented. As the years pass, the memory of Sarah Thompson's case continues to resonate in Millbrook, evolving into a powerful narrative of caution and hope. The Garden of Remembrance becomes a place of reflection for many, symbolizing not only the loss of a young life, but also the community's resilience in the face of adversity. It stands as a testament to the possibility of growth and renewal from profound grief. Annual events in Sarah's honor keep her memory alive, fostering a legacy of awareness and vigilance that extends beyond Millbrook. These events help to fund safety programs and support for victims' families, furthering Sarah's impact. Her story inspires ongoing dialogues about personal safety and the responsibilities of individuals and communities to protect each other. Moreover, Sarah's case has become a touchstone in educational resources nationwide, used to teach about the dynamics of crime, the importance of ethical investigative practices, and the profound effects of violence on families and communities. These discussions are integral in shaping a more informed, empathetic generation of young people who are better prepared to contribute positively to their own communities. Through all these efforts, Sarah Thompson's spirit is immortalized, her aspirations continuing to influence and educate others. The community of Millbrook, once marked by tragedy, now stands as a beacon of collective strength and educational progress, showing how from darkness can come light. The enduring influence of Sarah Thompson's legacy encourages the wider community to engage in proactive change, extending the lessons learned from her story to a broader audience. As Millbrook becomes a model for community engagement and safety, other towns and cities begin to look to it for guidance on fostering similar initiatives. This ripple effect catalyzes the formation of regional and national networks focused on crime prevention and community support. These networks collaborate on creating comprehensive resources for crime prevention education, victim support, and public safety awareness, all inspired by the proactive measures taken in Millbrook. Additionally, documentaries and case studies on Sarah's story have sparked interest in the psychological and social factors that contribute to criminal behavior, leading to increased funding and research in these areas. Universities and think tanks develop programs that analyze such cases to better understand the warning signs and preventive measures that can be implemented. The commitment to turning tragedy into a source of societal improvement demonstrates a shift towards a more vigilant and compassionate community ethos nationwide. Sarah's story becomes a catalyst for change, illustrating how tragedy can transform into a powerful force for unity, understanding, and safety across communities. As Sarah Thompson's story continues to inspire and educate, it also evolves into a key component of advocacy and legislative efforts aimed at enhancing public safety and victim rights. Advocacy groups use her story as a pivotal case to push for stricter laws on crime reporting, more transparent police procedures, and stronger community involvement in monitoring and preventing crime. These groups work closely with legislators to draft bills that not only aim to protect potential victims, but also ensure that families have better access to support and information during criminal investigations. The focus is on creating a more accountable system where communities are not just passive observers, but active participants in ensuring their own safety. Through workshops, seminars, and public hearings, Sarah's story galvanizes public officials and citizens alike, fostering a dialogue that transcends traditional boundaries between law enforcement and the community. This engagement leads to the establishment of new community policing initiatives, where officers are more integrated into the communities they serve, building trust and cooperation that are vital for effective policing. The legacy of Sarah Thompson thus continues to expand its influence, guiding policy changes and nurturing a culture of safety and cooperation. It stands as a profound example of how personal tragedy can lead to meaningful societal progress, making communities safer and more united in their common pursuit of justice and peace. The culmination of these efforts results in the establishment of the Sarah Thompson Foundation, dedicated to promoting safety, justice, and education about crime prevention across the country. The foundation hosts annual conferences that bring together experts in law enforcement, psychology, community planning, and victim support to share strategies and innovations in crime prevention and community safety. These conferences serve as a platform for the dissemination of new research findings and the development of best practices that can be adopted by communities globally. They also offer training sessions for community leaders and law enforcement on the integration of technology in crime prevention, such as the use of social media for public safety alerts and the implementation of community surveillance programs that respect privacy while enhancing security. Furthermore, the Sarah Thompson Foundation awards grants to community projects that demonstrate innovative approaches to enhancing safety and rebuilding trust. These projects often include youth engagement initiatives that teach young people about the legal system and encourage them to participate in community-building activities. Through all these activities, the foundation not only honors Sarah's memory, but also builds a lasting legacy of resilience and proactive change. It transforms the narrative of her tragedy into a continual push for improvement, ensuring that her story leads to tangible benefits for communities far beyond Millbrook. As the Sarah Thompson Foundation grows, its impact becomes a beacon for international efforts in crime prevention and community safety. The foundation establishes partnerships with global organizations focused on similar goals, facilitating a worldwide exchange of ideas and strategies. These international collaborations lead to the development of unified global standards for community safety and crime prevention, influenced by the lessons learned from Sarah's story. In addition to its global outreach, the foundation sponsors research studies that examine the root causes of community-based violence and the effectiveness of various intervention strategies. This research not only provides a deeper understanding of the complexities surrounding crime, but also informs policy decisions and educational programs that aim to mitigate these issues at their source. The foundation also launches a public awareness campaign that utilizes various media platforms to educate people about the importance of community involvement in crime prevention. This campaign includes the production of documentaries, series of informational podcasts, and interactive webinars that reach a broad audience, spreading knowledge and inspiring action. Through its extensive network of influence and resources, the Sarah Thompson Foundation sets a new standard for how tragedies can catalyze positive change, making it a model for other foundations and nonprofits aiming to make a difference in public safety and community resilience worldwide.